Welcome back. The FBI is calling the terror attack on a Michigan synagogue a targeted act of violence against a Jewish community. It happened at Temple University in the city of West Bloomfield. The suspect, Ayman Mohammed Ghazali, is dead. Police say security at the temple shot and killed him. And this comes on the heels of 3 other recent acts of terrorism. A gunman wearing a hoodie that said "Property of Allah" killed 3 people at a popular bar in Texas. Then on March 7th in New York City, 2 men were arrested after police say they ignited and threw homemade bombs outside the mayor's home. And yesterday, a veteran opened fire inside an ROTC class at Old Dominion University in Virginia. The shooter is a convicted ISIS supporter. Let's bring in Anna Schecter with the CBS News Crime and Public Safety Unit. Anna, good to see you today. We want to learn more about this investigation. So what do we know about the explosives that were found inside that suspect's car?
Well, we just learned from Phantom Fireworks, they're actually a source of mine because this is the fireworks company that sold fuse to the New York City attackers that you just had up there on your timeline. That's from last Saturday. The same company, it's a big company. They also have stores in Michigan, and we are told that the Michigan synagogue attacker bought $2,000 worth of fireworks at a store in a Detroit suburb, and that he was actually questioned, why are you buying so many fireworks, especially this time of year? Usually you see people spending a lot of money like that close to July 4th. And he replied to the clerk that it was for the end of Ramadan. And I just got off the phone with the CEO of Phantom Fireworks, who said, unfortunately, we're seeing this trend where people are using fireworks as explosives in attempted terrorist attacks, which is what happened on Saturday last week, and apparently here on this attack on the synagogue yesterday.
That is so interesting. I didn't really know that you could use fireworks as explosives, but I suppose now that you mention it, that does make a lot of sense. What else have we learned from the FBI when it comes to the suspect?
Well, we know that he was born in Lebanon and came years ago in 2011 on a spousal visa. So he married an American citizen and had children with her. They divorced. He was living alone, working at a local restaurant, and a week ago went quiet, was reclusive, was not showing up to work. And it happens that his 2 brothers are members of Hezbollah, live in a southern Lebanon town, which is essentially a real stronghold of Hezbollah. And the 2 brothers, their children, were killed in an airstrike, a drone strike by the IDF. Hezbollah had been shooting rockets into Israel, and Israel retaliated with drone strikes and also some ground forces going into southern Lebanon. So in this context, right, this is all within the last 2 weeks since the launch of the Iran war. And of course, Hezbollah is a proxy of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is the military arm of the Iranian regime. So this is really happening not in a vacuum. This attack on the synagogue was not happening in a vacuum. There's a lot going on, and so we've learned quite a bit in the last 24 hours about this attacker, Mugo.
Yeah, and Anna, the FBI is also investigating a shooting at Old Dominion University in Virginia. What do we know about that case?
Well, this is a fascinating case because Mohammed Jallow, the perpetrator of that shooting, had actually been convicted of trying to provide material support to a terrorist organization, and that was to ISIS. That was back in 2017. He was sentenced to 11 years, got out after about 9, a little bit early. Now, he was supposed to have been watched, sort of at least checking in with authorities, and something fell through the cracks there because he was able to obtain a weapon, get access to that campus. He apparently asked, is this the ROTC class? Yes, it was. And he shouted Allahu Akbar, according to the FBI, as he fired those shots, killed the teacher, and these brave students jumped into action to subdue him, and he was actually killed during that altercation. One of the students had a knife, our sources at the FBI told us. So that happened just 2 hours before the synagogue attack. So this pace of attacks, it's really ticked up, very alarming, and really stresses law enforcement because there are only so many resources and they get spread thin when they're trying to keep tabs on all of these threats, Mugo.
Yeah, you're right. Anna Schecter, as always, thank you so much for your reporting.